everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Domains. It is so good to see everybody back here. Dad, how's it going?
Hey, Julie. Good to be here. Another busy day domaining, another Monday. Offense, defense, maintenance.
Sounds like a fun day. Let's see. Anything for is this our first stream this month? I think it is. No, it's not. If this is or is not our first stream this month, what are some things you like to do at the beginning of the month?
It is the first stream of the month. Yeah, no, good question.
Yeah. What is domain?
Most of the stuff I like to do the first of the month, I actually try to do the end of the prior month, because especially when you do things by the month, you will most often miss things that are on the first 2 or 3 days of the month, because it's like June 3rd and you go, oh, I got to do my June stuff. And you realize there was something that you needed to do on June 1st.
I see. So you're a get ahead so you don't get behind kind of guy. I like it.
And well, the same thing works. The same thing works, domainer tip out there, for each day. If you know that auctions are starting at 11 o'clock, if you wait till 11:08 to check your auctions for the day at GoDaddy, you may find that you missed a name whose auction was at 11:01. And all domain names are unique. All domain names are one of one. If you miss an auction, if you miss a name, you can get something just as good, but you can never go back and get that name.
Right.
So that's what's taught me over the years to be early. I use a lot of Gmail messages where I'll email myself a scheduled email.
Yes.
And I know this is dad tech. You know what I mean?
A way that I know works for you, and I'm sure works for other people, so it's great information, but I want it on the record that this would send my brain into chaos. Continue.
Well, notifications send my brain into chaos because I'm not willing to give whoever happens to comment on Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, Discord, my email, my attention to look at the phone and see the notifications. So I always look at my email. And Julie, why do we look at our email? Why do we look at our email as domainers?
Because then we get to see if names on our watch list drop.
Nope.
But that was a good answer and you're proud of me?
That was a good one. But the message that comes through email usually is, your domain has just sold.
Oh!
And that's the email that you never want to, you're living for that email. So
exciting thing.
The reason that I always tell people, if you really need me, use email, because wherever I am, I'm hitting that send and receive button, hoping that the email, your domain just sold, will pop up, and that's where I'll see lots of email.
We kids learned long ago, if we need dad, send an email, which was an interesting thing to learn as a college student who never checked their email.
But, well, and then since you got me good with that one, I will get you and your sister good with the concept that you have both had cell phones since you were about 11, and they still have the same voicemail message as when you're 11. And I don't think either of you have ever checked your messages.
No, Jana's does. Mine I never set up, and I do check my voicemail because my phone transcribes it, and I check it occasionally.
There you go.
I have a saved voicemail from you that I've kept for quite a few years now. I think it was you telling me happy birthday. It was a really wholesome, encouraging message, so I've kept that.
I am going to post this to our talk tonight in a couple of groups. So if you happen to be one of our early viewers, and you can like and let's see, I'm going to find some groups. I need to find some more Twitter groups.
Interesting.
And I'll do one more, domainers.
Well, because this will be our last stream until Sunday, I want to wish all you domainers a happy Father's Day, especially to my dad. Father's Day is on Sunday, so in case I'll be at a bachelorette. So in case I forget, here is my happy Father's Day to Dad and all you guys out here. Maybe your family will get you guys a domain for Father's Day. Who knows?
Yeah, and a good time to remind everybody, seasonal domains. You know, now is the time you can buy domains where the holiday that you're buying them for is already passed. But, you know,
Good point.
normally you want to think about these things 3 months before, and you want to make sure that all your names for June, for dads, grads, and weddings, that's what I think of when I think of June, that you have those domain names teed up. And speaking of June, we have a birthday in June on the show.
Happy my birthday!
And do we have the birthday Father's Day combo again this year?
We do. We get to celebrate together. So, fun fact, the last time this happened, I'll put the fam on the spot. They forgot my birthday.
Gotcha. I see More Than SEO went out and got some city plus crypto domains. He must have beat me to them. But
yeah, look at this.
We'll see it. Domaining.eth in the house. Names portfolio. Crego in the house. Crego is a host extraordinaire, video and audio.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Crego. This is our Monday night domain show with my daughter, Julie, who is also, Craig does some work on behalf of CoinZoom, and Julie is a Zoomer.
I am a Zoomer.
And you may see us, Craig, doing some shows alongside you for CoinZoom. So,
very cool. Well, we've got some people. You want to get into the meat of our show, Dad?
Let's do it.
So, we have. We're going to be different. For those of y'all that don't know, we've been doing our $102 million challenge, where I invested $100 in domains, and we're trying to flip them and eventually make $1 million domain sale, right? So in this, I have been combing expireddomains.net. And last chance, Dad, I didn't need to buy any of them before I showed the world, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, we wanted to show you guys the ones that we almost got and talk about kind of why we didn't and the pros and cons of everything. And yeah, so let me get my screen shared. Let's see.
Love it. Love it.
Let's go ahead and share it now. I've got to do mute this guy and then do that. Okay. So can you guys see that okay? I know on my end it's a little bit little just because I've got the stream going. But can you guys
why don't you hit Control++? And
it raises every. Oh, you mean on this one? Okay. I thought you meant on my streaming, and I was like,
there we go. So that'll make it a little bigger. Okay.
Alrighty. So these are currently sorted, I think, just by date that I added them. Dad, do you want to leave it at that, or do we want to sort them a different way? Do we want to talk about?
No, but let me just do a disclaimer for expireddomains.net. We are using expireddomains.net. It's a fantastic site. I encourage you to join it, get your own login, and they make money with affiliate revenue. So if you see names that you want, if Julie would click on there, she can pick to have an automatic link to her favorite registrar. So if she likes one of these names, she clicks it, and like right now, can you just hover over it, Julie? Oh, there you go. So it's got Namecheap. So you support the guy who runs the team that runs Expired Domains by clicking through the different links, and then that's how he gets credit for bringing the idea of getting that name. And so I just wanted to disclose that because that's a fair trade, and we want to be fair. We want to be fair domainers.
And I see a coupon code right here, which is good because I was gonna buy from. I think name.com is having a sale right now, so I was kind of planning on whatever name I buy in the near future, buying from there because .coms are on sale for like $5.30 something.
Yeah.
But I guess if you don't have an account with Namecheap, you get.
So let's go ahead and go back. The name.com special ends at 10 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. So I've been buying .coms for $5.99, and I've been buying, if you buy the com and the XYZ together, you actually save $1. So you're paying a -$1 for the XYZ.
So I get a spare name? That's exciting.
So then it's $4.99, and you get them for a whole year. And the other thing is Name.com is part of what's called the GoDaddy fast transfer promotion, which means you can list your name for sale on Afternic, which is GoDaddy's platform, and it'll show up at lots of registrars. If someone's at Network Solutions, if someone's at Alibaba, if someone's in Australia, if someone's in the UK, and they search for names, they'll be getting a feed if they search for your name that'll say you can buy this premium name for this much money. And if they do, in the back end, it'll transfer immediately from Name.com to that new buyer. So you get some more exposure.
Because we've talked about that a lot in our selling, where are we listing our names, is because a lot of times you have that 30-day waiting period. So that's really exciting.
More Than SEO ask about the DR. I've got my expired domain set up for non-SEO features, you know what I mean? So I haven't explored that, but I'll try to look at it this week. So Julie, did you put it, what did you search here? On the top, you have different boxes. This is your watch list.
Yeah.
And these are names that are recently deleted. And it looks like they all start with AI, or what other words did you put in there?
Oh, no. So this is just based on recency. So today I actually put in contains AI, and then I did a search contains SEO, and then I did a search contains Flash because I thought there were some good ones, but I didn't get too much there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, More Than SEO, I saw slamseo.com, and I thought of you, and I said that to Dad. I ended up not buying it, but I thought it was good. Let's see. I liked Is Fox. See, and this is what my tweet was about. Anyone that saw my tweet, where I was like, oh, there's so many good names that I want, but like I can't outbound them quickly. I can't quickly find a seller. If I was just gonna do this and sit around, then I might have bought isfoxy.com because that's on Julie brand, And there's just funny ways you can kind of talk. I could talk about that and market that, but we don't have the time, so not gonna buy it.
I have a couple Foxy domains.
Oh yeah, what do you got?
I got a one-word Foxy domain.
Do you have foxy.com?
No, no, I wish. That would probably be about 150,000. I have foxy.cfd for clothing, fashion, and design.
Nice.
But I also just renewed a .com. I have bigfoxy.com.
I fear this conversation may get out of my age range.
So let's talk about Foxy, and let's talk about brandables.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they're going to fit the 1 to 100 to 1 million campaign. But if you're out there just trying to buy some names that other people may like, I can understand why. And here's how I'd look at Is Foxy, okay? I would tell myself that the buyer of that name is going to have already fallen in love with the word Foxy. And I would ask myself, of all the words that could be before or after Foxy, where would Is rank?
Very low.
And I would probably rank it like in the top 3,000 or 4,000. You know what I mean?
It's not late to the.
And so what you're looking for, if you want to flip it to another domainer, you need to buy for below wholesale.
Right.
So you would want to have someone like say I bought Big Foxy for $5. Do I think I could sell it on Domain Outlet for $50? I couldn't sell it as a for sure money. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, that's totally worth $50. Someone will buy it for sure. They would have to have some desire on their own to spend their money on that name, but it wouldn't be like going, oh, it's for sure worth that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to share my screen now.
Okay. Wait, can we talk about one more that
Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. Yeah.
Time I thought Last Flash Photography was good, but I couldn't find any studios actually named that. But if anyone needs to open a photography studio, they should name it Last Flash Photography. I feel like it's good. Okay, anyway. Now I will stop sharing my screen.
No, that's good, because that gets to the second thing I wanted to talk about. So when you're talking about brandables, the way I responded to you about Slam SEO was, I think it's a speculative name, and you could decide to speculate on it. So if you're out there just spending money and you're happy to spend it, you know what I mean? And hey, it could sell, go for it. But I didn't like it for the 100 to $1 million portfolio. And the reason is I would look that you would either need to see 5 to 10 companies all called Slam SEO, or you would need Slam SEO to be a term. Like, hey, the latest trend in SEO marketing is Slam SEO. Slam SEO is a technique, and then that's what you'd want to see on Wikipedia, is like a thing about it. You know what I mean? And then you could find companies that specialize.
And here was my thought process on why I didn't buy it specifically for the 100 to $1 million. Is it's one of those that it'll be great whenever someone wants to have that company. Whenever someone starts up a SEO company and they need a name, that'll be great for them. But I can't search and find those people. Have to come to me. I can't go to them. And we're trying to make this a quicker process, and I can only have a few names. Like right now in my budget, I can only have like 20 names. So I got to make sure they're names that I can flip. And this is just not a name that I can search. I can't put my fingers up for businesses that don't exist yet. I can't read people's minds. So that was kind of my thought.
And the way you do, right, and the way you do make money buying domain names for businesses that don't exist yet, that is an investable strategy.
Absolutely.
The only hard,
I said absolutely. Continue though.
The only hard part is you don't know if you're successful till after you bought the names. And what I mean by that is you buy 100 of these names, and then after a year, you have to look back and say, was my picker, was my smeller on target enough that randomly throughout the 365 days, people came for 2 or 3 out of my 100. You know what I mean? And because you did sell them for 100 to 1,000 times what you paid, you know what I mean? Then they can pay for the other 97 that didn't sell. Problem is, you're never going to know that until you go through the exercise. You know what I mean? So in the same way that Julie's being very careful with her 20 names, if you're going to do a brandable strategy, I would encourage you to picture that you have a wall with 100 shelves. And each one of those shelves is going to be precious, that it's going to hold a brandable domain name that's most likely to randomly have somebody want it. And I would encourage you to challenge yourself not to go, oh, the top 10 are good, I'll just buy 90 more. You know what I mean? But really focus on each one, because you need to be that good. And if you get to the end of the year and you say, I tried too hard, Julie, I actually had 10 of them sell. That's a great problem.
I made too much money. That's
right. And that's where you want to be. You want to say, man, I worked too hard. I could have worked less. Now, what most domainers do is they say, the amount of effort that I put in already should be enough. And then they stop. All right, here's another site that I find really valuable. I encourage everyone to sign up. It's DSAD, and it's run by Shane Cultra, and he is a fantastic domainer. He's been successful in 3 or 4 businesses, long distance runner, domain Sherpa from way back. And he manages a team, and you can get on their newsletter, which I encourage everyone to do. And each day he tells you what are the best names coming up for auction. And then he also tells you what happened yesterday. So Julie, when you look at these names, can you discern from them some of the aspects that would give domains wholesale value?
Oh, these, I'm maximizing my screen. Oh, wow. Are these ones that did sell?
They did sell.
Okay. So, is this sorted by price? I'm shocked that Factory Outlet Store was the highest sold name of the day.
Do you think that's too high or too low?
I don't exactly know. It's a 3-word. And outlet and store, to me, it's redundant.
Yeah, I can see that. See, what I would call this is a 2.5 word name, because factory outlet, I'm going to call a 1.5 word, because they go together much better. That they're not just two
Yeah.
random words. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like wire one, the third one here, those are two words that go together okay to make a nice brandable. But it's not the same as, factory outlet, which, is kind of one thing,
Yeah.
for lack of a
No,
better.
I get that. I agree.
Yeah. But this shows you how a name with the word capital
Yes.
at the
Okay.
end, and even though true is spelled wrong, because it's in a high demand area, someone's going to be starting million and $100 million companies. You can get away with having the 500th best word on the left, because some people would say,
Okay,
hey, I
that was
can
actually
brand
a
it.
eureka moment that I had today whenever I was scrolling through Twitter, because I was seeing some of these names that were kind of long or maybe not that great, selling for a lot of money, and I realized it was because of the words themselves, not just because of the inherent domain formula. Does that make any sense? Like a two-word domain.
Yeah. Now, did
Yes.
my screen switch? So here you can see this also is a name, True Capital, that has two different users, one in Chicago, one in New York.
Very finance hubs. Yeah.
And see how this is truecapital.fund,
Oh, so they
this
need
first
the
one?
.com.
And the .com is an upgrade. It's not a, hey, you might want to have this also, but it's an upgrade. And this company, True Capital Partners, they had to go for a 3-word name, right? So if you do outbound to them, you're going to be upgrading what they have. And that's the most important thing for successful outbounding, is that one, you want to make sure you're not sending it to someone who is the sole owner of the trademark, you know what I mean? But two, that your name is an upgrade for people that happen to be
So
called
that's what
True
I did
Capital.
with Rad Tats, and we won't get too far into it because I know we talked a little bit about that name last week, and I haven't gotten any responses to any of my emails. But whenever I looked at it, I saw quite a few. Well, A, I saw the oncology tech, which was cool, but then B, I saw some tattoo artists, some tattoo studios using Rad Tats AZ in Arizona, or Rad Tattoos, like the full length, or
Yeah.
Rad Ink Designs, I think, is one that I'm currently outbounding to. So I was like, okay, like there's people that already have the name that could do better. So, and because I know that I would sell it for less than other domainers would. I'm okay going with a market that isn't as like anything.
So I was wrong, Julie. I did not sort it by sales price. There's some ones later that are just as high. Like this one, LAFM
Even
3100.
almost having TikTok was pretty high.
But here's some of the things that you'll want to do is, by looking at this, you'll make a list of what are some of the things, especially if you're going to try to flip it wholesale, like ends with the word sphere would be interesting to
Yeah.
look at. You know what I mean? This fan sphere, or this begin X. Sometimes no registrar is going to say, hey, everybody, we ran a search of the top 3,000 words. We put an X on the end. Here's what's available. But doing that is open to domainers. And again, assume that everything's taken. You're looking for something to really stand
I'm
out,
surprised
right?
Figbar went that low.
Boy, you're right. See, this is one where did have 26 bids, so it had active
I wonder if
bidders.
people were too worried about the trademark with Fig Newton.
But this is an idea of what's really happening out there. Now, look, this one, Centennial Ice Arena. That is a Centennial Ice Arena. I'm less confident to buy those ones where there's one end user. They could be bidding against you, but now, and then some of these may have SEO value, like this WashingtonParkPDX.org. I would bet that that's got some SEO stats. You know
Even
what I mean?
Phoenix Appraisal, I kind of thought would go a little higher.
Right. Now that is a geo service name. And as you grow your $100 stake, you'll find that sometimes that $100 to $400 level is where people stop bidding because they're not getting it super cheap. That's a steal. That's totally, you know what I mean? You have to have a little conviction. But if you've already outbounded in Phoenix, or you've already outbounded an appraisal name, and you find that, yes, those people do want them, see how that helps give you some confidence to outbid other people?
And like sticking to a niche, having your specialty. Interesting.
So anyway, this is a great way to look every day, and he sends you a newsletter every morning on DSAD, and then you can start making your own list of these endings and beginnings. Wow, look at this one, goldmining.net, 325. That shows you just how far .net has come down, you know?
Yeah, for real.
I mean, that's a huge industry. I mean, goldmining.com, wholesale maybe 8,000, retail 50,000, 100,000, you know?
Yeah. Cool. Well, guys, it is about
Anyway.
so it's about time to switch to our vocal only point of the show. Any final thoughts, Dad, before you guys can all join us on Twitter? Dad's gonna start the space at Joe Domains, and then we kind of just chit chat, we get a little bit more in depth, and then we invite everyone, if you would like, and retweet the space, to come up and talk and kind of make it a more interactive experience.
Gotcha. If you're watching, I think Julie's looking to bargain this week for AI Baccarat and AI Craps. So reach out to her. She's looking to bargain. She hasn't had a sale in 2 weeks. And the other one is Nanny Broker and Scottsdale Estate Attorney. So there you go.
Cool. And hopefully I plan on buying another one in the next day or two. So we'll see what that turns out to be.
All right.
Exciting. See you guys on Twitter. Bye, friends.